Let me guess, you clicked on this video because you feel like a failure. Well, I have good news for you. I'm a 24-year-old and I feel like a failure too. I have 3 degrees, a husband, a beautiful cat that I love. I have my own apartment. I basically have the life I dreamt that I would have when I was a teenager. And yet every single day I still feel like a complete and utter failure. So my question is it even possible to be a failure in your 20s? And does anyone not feel like a failure? Because logically, I know that I'm doing okay. I genuinely, logically, in my brain, understand that I'm doing well in life. And yet my soul or just something in me is telling me that I fucking suck. So for the past year, I've been talking to hundreds of people who I consider successful and who are in places in life where I want to be. And I've realized something. Everybody thinks that they're a fucking failure. I used to want to become a professor, and a huge part of me still does. But when I talk to professors, most are frustrated with their work and don't see themselves as being successful. One professor that I have that I really look up to went to Ivy Leagues his entire life. Like, this guy is stacked. Book publications, awards, you name it, he is at the top of his field. He's extremely successful. And when I spoke to him and asked him what success looks like to him and whether he enjoys being a professor, he said that he feels like a failure because, unlike his neighbors, he cannot afford to renovate his house. And all I was thinking was, wait, you own a house? And I realized in that conversation that we were defining failure as 2 completely different things. And that no matter what my professor had, he always wanted more. And by virtue, I realized that no matter what I had, I also always want more. So who am I to critique him? And don't get me wrong, I know that there are people in life that are objectively successful, especially by societal standards, like Elon Musk and Jeff Bezos. And the biggest thing that they have in common is money. And the second biggest thing that they seem to have in common is that they never actually seem satisfied. I mean, they're always looking at the next thing that they can buy, the biggest thing that they can do. They want to go to space. They want to go to fucking Jupiter. They are just never satisfied. It's like they have a quench in themselves that can never be filled. And now, I don't know if either of these men would actually consider themselves failures. To be honest, they probably consider themselves pretty successful. But it's just that on the outside, it just doesn't seem like they want to stop. Like, it doesn't seem like they feel like they're successful, if that makes sense. So my question is, when does it ever end? And when does everybody just stop feeling like a failure? I have another example. I had a conversation with someone who I would consider to be a very successful businessman who makes about $500,000 a year, which is a lot of money. And he only works about 20 hours a week. His lifestyle, his finances, and his personal life all seemed absolutely perfect. And yet, when I spoke to him, he said that he still felt like there were elements of his life where he was a failure. He didn't actually enjoy his business. He hated the people he was working with. He felt like he was failing himself and the people around him, despite being in such a wonderful position in life. But it doesn't resolve the fact that I still feel like a failure. It just kind of makes me feel better about myself. But at the end of the day, I feel like everything I try to do, I basically fail. Like, I've been struggling to get this YouTube channel off the ground. I've only been doing it for 3 months and I feel like a total failure and I want to quit, even though I've just started. And so even though I'm having fun in the process, because I'm not objectively succeeding, I know and feel that I am therefore failing. But what I'm learning is that there's probably someone out there looking at what I'm posting and thinking, wow, I'm such a failure because I'm not even posting, even though I want to. And there's probably someone else looking at that guy and thinking, wow, I'm such a failure because I don't have the self-awareness to recognize my faults the way that that person does. And the list goes on and on and on. So I've realized over the past year that in feeling like a failure, I basically feel like everybody else. Like, I've failed at being a failure, basically. And therefore, I'm not a failure. And I'm just a person that's overly self-critical and maybe just hates themselves and is just chungus and it's just a friggin' fat chud. And every time that I and others waste feeling like a failure is probably just spent not enjoying what we do have or enjoying the process of obtaining what we want. And I think that's a big issue for people in our 20s. We want things, and we've seen that generations before us have gotten those things when they were our age. And, you know, the goalpost has moved. And so now it's hard to not spend every day feeling like a failure, especially when for some of us, our parents were having kids at our age, they were buying houses at our age, and we're here like collecting Funko Pops, which, no shade if you're collecting Funko Pops, I do too. And so to reiterate, I feel that the time I and others waste feeling like a failure is time not spent enjoying what we have or enjoying the process of obtaining what we want. And I know that that's basically corny as fuck, but it actually helps me cope with the fact that the grass isn't always greener on the other side. The only thing I can do is tend to my garden. See it this way, I have this tiny little patch of land, but it's my garden and the grass is very green and there's rabbits frolicking and I'm just chilling out and all my favorite plants and flowers are there. Like, that is an objectively good garden. The grass is green in my garden. But there's somebody else right opposite me who has the most bountiful field. And when I look at it, it's so much bigger than my grass. I could fit hundreds of my grass into their one big field. But when you actually start digging, maybe the roots of their field are dying and so is the grass. And you can't see it, but when you sit on their grass, you can feel that it's different to my grass. So even though when you sit on their grass, you have all of this fucking space, and on my grass, you have no space, it feels better to be on my grass. Does that make sense? Or is that just an extremely long-winded metaphor? I don't know. So I guess what I'm trying to say is there's always going to be someone that is better off than you or worse than you, and there's no saying whether or not they feel like a success or a failure because you don't know what's really going on deep down. So in that sense, no one's actually failing at anything if they're able to enjoy what they have, if they're able to see that the grass is green on their side, or if they're able to appreciate the flowers on their side, even if somebody else has nicer flowers. So I guess this is all just to say that the reason why I think I might be a failure is because I'm failing not at life, but to actually slow down and enjoy my life, as opposed to the sense that I'm actually objectively failing. I'm just failing at recognizing that I'm not failing. And I guess maybe it's the same for you too. So maybe the answer to both of our problems is to just be big fat failures together. And if you liked this video and you liked the cinematics of it, please subscribe and give this a like. I promise I will be producing a lot more content like this in the future.